We just bought a $12,000 machine and it barely did what we needed. In Q1, we almost made $1 million, but it also made us realize how messy things actually are. So yeah, we got better film, tighter system, and Juan, he's got another list.
We're gonna go over our regular meeting very briefly. We're also gonna talk about the employees of the month for the month of March. At the same time, we're gonna go over the first quarter recap. So we're gonna state the goals that we had and have, and at the same time, what we've done for the first quarter and how it's looking like for the first quarter. At the same time, we're gonna go over the focus for the remainder of the year, which should be a little bit exciting. So essentially that is gonna get us know how we're doing and know what we need to focus on. So that's what we're gonna do right now. Since we're all here then, we're gonna quickly go over a couple of things. So we're gonna quickly review the meeting. We're gonna do employee of the month, and we're gonna list out the events that it is that we want for the first quarter. And Jonathan, as of now, think of some food choices. Time is of the essence. So with that being said, when it comes to the sales for Friday, it was 12,980. Saturday, 12,837. Sunday, 13,600. And then Monday, 12,060. That being said, let's go over the company's first quarter. Last year, it was this goal, $5 million for 2025. And so I know we didn't hit it, but this year it's looking extremely likely because if we look at the month of March, if we just extrapolate that to the end of the year, we're gonna hit our goal. So it's not unreasonable for us to hit it. In fact, it would be unreasonable for us not to hit it. So when it comes to the company, for the first quarter, it has been the highest that it's ever been for the first quarter, meaning 3 months. So for the first quarter, we did 927,195, which if we extrapolate that, it puts us at 3.7 million, which is a little bit off. But I know moving forward, based on the sales, how it's going, we're definitely gonna go way past that. So I know we're looking at the numbers, we're looking at the sales, and those are all sales. But that doesn't include any of like the fees, any of the shipping, any materials. And just to give a little bit of context, I think we've also seen some investment in terms of like the company. So like those heaters, ACs, I think there was a total of 15,000, 16,000. At the same time, inventory purchase. Totally, and this is all in the last 2 weeks. The company has already bought inventory, like total, it was 81,000. 81,000. At the same time, we still have an invoice for 16,000. At the same time, the rent coming up is roughly 11,000. Payroll, I mean, I think we all want to get paid. That's a good portion of it. So there are a lot of expenses as well. So at the same, in the same way that it's been the highest revenue, it's also been the highest expense. But granted, because a lot of it is going into investing in the people in the warehouse and to us. At the same time for the future growth, because I know tomorrow a new person starts for production. At the same time, I know we're looking for someone for the media. So a lot of expansion, a lot of growth, but at the same time, a lot of spending in a good way, because all these expenditures are made with a purpose, not just to spend.
One of the bottlenecks we ran into, prepping material. It was slowing us down. So we picked up the new Slitter machine to fix that. The only catch, it showed up in pieces. And it also cost us $12,000. So we're gonna have to take out the machine, but I'm realizing that they don't have screws, they have hammers, or they have nails. So it's gonna make a lot of noise. And well, right now it's barely 6 in the morning. I mean, we're in a warehouse setting, but then everyone's still barely waking up from the team. So we bought this machine because we work with vinyl rolls, and sometimes we need to cut it to a shorter dimension for us to be able to run it through the machine. So how we previously do it, we do it with the saw. But now this machine, we're gonna be able to, it's just gonna be a lot easier that anyone is gonna be able to do it.
Okay. How much was this, like a couple dollars?
Nah, it was like 12,000. 12,000? Oh my bad. Go.
There you go.
And that's how it's done. 1, 2, 3. All right, cool.
Sick. How we mentioned, we got the Slitter not too long ago, but we didn't show you how to use it. So we're gonna show you why we got it, how it works, and we're gonna do a test run. The reason why I'm getting gloves is because the film we work with is window tint. So if my hands are greasy, then it's gonna get greasy too. So how we mentioned, I don't think we're gonna show it in this video. We're just gonna show the slitter machine, but we're starting a new brand, a new company. And so we just get the main roll because window tinters, they need different sizes. They need 20 inch, they need 40 inch, 36 inch. We just make it easier and we cut the rolls. And so that's what the machine is for. For a little bit more context, before how we used to cut the rolls, we used to have a saw, like one of those saws that you see at the Home Depot. And then obviously it's a little bit dangerous and it just picks up a lot of dust and it, one, it burns the film. Two, it leaves a lot of residue, like a lot of polvo, dust, and it's a little bit dangerous. So this one we got it because one, it's gonna be a little bit easier, and now I don't have to do it, my brother doesn't have to do it, so someone that's working here, because it's a little bit safer, they have the ability to work on it. So I think it's gonna be a good addition, and so we'll show you how it works. The bad thing about this is that you need a 240 volt, 240 amps. I don't know the voltage, but it doesn't work with the regular outlet. We had to get an adaptation because I know we do have this 240 volts. It's gonna get nerd talk, but right here you have 50 amps, but then this one is only 30. So we had to get a conversion, and this is what we came up with. Let me power it up. Very simple machine. I think that's why you have a little bit of buttons, because they make it dummy proof. So anyways, how you turn it on, just turn that bad boy on. And the way to power it on is you just flip the switch. Now you see that it's spinning. So that's it. That's all it is. So now we're gonna cut the rolls.
How much better is it?
How much better?
Using the slitter machine versus the saw machine?
Well, I've only used it once during that practice time, but I think everyone else likes it. I know that they said whoever came up with the idea, that they're gonna give a hug. And I haven't received my hug. Like, where my hug at? Everyone says it's really good, and I agree that it's really good, because like I mentioned, yes, we see a little bit of residue, but not like the other machine. This is where I get my gloves, because again, I don't want hand stains, grease stains to be on the roll. Do you remember last time how we did it? I mean, let me be specific. That's a little sus.
Pause.
Pause. No, Diddy.
Yeah, this way. Yeah, it goes that way.
Going that way, huh? All right, so once it's there, you gotta lock it. The one thing I don't like is that this thing moves. The film actually moves back and forth. Don't look at that. So right now we are gonna cut it from a 60-inch roll down into 3 equal parts. I know we did a few test cuts, but the purpose of this, instead of doing it with the saw and potentially burning the material and then creating too much dust, this is gonna allow us to just make a crisp cut and then be able to ship it out to whoever needs it in the size they need. So we're gonna turn it on and run this bad boy. So I guess for the update, we're not able to get this material to work because it's not from the manufacturer, it's not taped onto the roll. So then because it's not taped to the roll, as soon as we cut, it just starts moving everywhere. Stop it. And that's how we get these raggedy cuts. So at least for now, the other ones we're gonna have to do it in the saw. Which is interesting.
Slitter 1, Alexa 0.
Yep. Manufacturer 0. Sometimes it's the little upgrades. So while I was struggling with our new machine, Juan was busy trying to figure out what was best for our customers.
So what's going on right now? Right now we're testing out the different, because one of the complaints with one of them, and also maybe we need to be a little bit more clear when it comes to like what our product is supposed to do. But in terms of tackiness, the vinyl itself is not tacking based on the customer's interpretation of what we tell them on the listing. So right now we're testing out to see which vinyl wrap is better in order to use for our products.
I don't know if it's because this one's been out for a while, but this one looks more smoother, the texture, and this one has like orange peel design.
Which one is the one that we're selling out right now? Or we're not selling either?
I believe we're selling this one right now. But I know this one we were having adhesive issues right now. So we're trying to see what's best for if we need a switch or not, basically.
So we got 3M, Avery, and cheetah wrap. Cheetah wrap is cast.
Which one's the cheetah?
It should have a cheetah on it.
My goodness, what an idea. Why didn't I think of that?
Do you guys have a rating scale? Or like something like, okay, because I know appearance is one.
Which this one is the best by far.
Initial tack,
With initial tack, what do you consider good? Being good initial tack.
I guess something that they're able to reposition, like,
Okay, so low initial tack.
yeah. And then the actual adhesive once is actually
Once is
installed.
got it. So the 3 metrics, that's what we're gonna measure the clarity, the low tack or the low initial tack, and the high tack once it's applied. So those are the 3 metrics. Okay, so you heard that, Mr. Isaias? And I guess we'll let you know once.
That has been.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, definitely. One of the purposes and one of the reasons why this is extremely important and why we're doing this is because it's always good to keep the customer in mind and, you know, and actually taking into account their feedback, because based on the customer feedback, one of the issues that they were having was the tackiness in terms of like how sticky the vinyl was once it's installed. Now, this is what we're trying to find out. We're gonna test out the one we're using and also other ones. So this one, in this test, we're gonna find out whether it's actually the vinyl itself, or maybe we need to be a little bit more clear on our instructions on how they should be installing it in order for it to stay down. So yeah, this overall would reduce returns, would reduce refunds, and overall improves the positive customer experience of the customer. And so with that, more positive reviews, more sales, less returns, less refunds, and so overall good thing for everybody.
All right, guys, so we just showed you a little bit of what we're doing for Q2. We realized that it's not just about working harder, it's about working smarter. One of the reasons why we got the machine, also why we're doing the meetings, so we can start preparing for Q2. But if you guys like what you saw, follow, subscribe, so you can see what we're gonna do for the next big phase.